You always hear it in the news. A big shooting happens and the politicians and media decide that the only way to reduce gun violence is to enforce more gun laws. The truth is that this is not necessarily our best option. To reduce gun violence, the American government should reform the current gun laws. First, I will discuss the problems with our current gun laws, and secondly, I will provide a nationwide solution. To better understand the problem at hand, I will discuss the problems with our current gun laws. First, guns are too easy to obtain. According to an article by Chris Kirkham of the Huffington Post titled, "Private Gun Sale Loophole Creates Invisible Firearms Market, Prompts Calls for Reform," published on December 21st, 2012, there are hardly any rules that apply to guns after the first time they have been sold. So for example, anyone could go to a gun show, buy just about any type of gun, used gun, with some cash and a handshake, regardless of who they are. This makes it way too easy for criminals, or anyone for that matter, to obtain guns. Also, teenagers can easily obtain guns illegally, and they may claim to use them for self-defense, according to a National Institute of Justice article titled "Gun Violence," published on April 4th, 2013. Secondly, guns are dangerous and too commonly used in crimes. The previous source also states that guns were used in approximately 68% of homicides, 41% of robberies, and 21% of aggravated assaults. As you can see here in the second column, the numbers do not vary much from the year before. From 1990 to 2005, guns were used in approximately 2/3 of cases where a spouse or ex-spouse was murdered. Guns are too commonly the weapon of choice in America. This is a problem that we cannot have. According to an article by the Washington Post titled "Gun Violence and Mass Shootings, Myths, Facts, and Solutions" by Dewey G. Cornell of the Washington Post, published on June 11, 2014, guns account for approximately 81,300 non-fatal injuries a year and 31,600 deaths each year. These numbers are way too high. And finally, gun-free zones do more harm than good. Gun-free zones are our nation's most common way of reducing gun violence, but the fact of the matter is that they do more harm than good. According to an article by John Fund of the National Review Online, in an article titled "Facts About Mass Shootings," published on December 16, 2012, criminals tend to rob areas where people are less likely to be well defended. If we would take away guns and enforce more gun-free zones, this would be most of the country. Many people have come to realize that this is not the solution. As you can see here, many people do not take well to gun-free zones. It says, "No weapons allowed, attention criminals. This is a defense-free crime zone. All law-abiding patrons of this establishment have been disarmed for your convenience. Enjoy the management." Just knowing that someone could have a gun or someone could be armed severely reduces the chances of a shooting. And knowing this, criminals are less likely to engage in violence. Now that we know more about the problem at hand, I will discuss a nationwide solution. First, all guns must be registered through the state. Every time a gun is bought or sold, it must be registered through the state, and background checks must be done on the buyer. These laws